How much can a person endure before they break? What happens when the ones who vowed to love you become the architects of your deepest betrayal? And what would you do if, after being discarded like yesterday's trash, you gained the power to reshape their world with a single word? 3 days after her father's funeral, Olivia Matthews sat alone in the apartment she once shared with her husband, the crisp, cold pages of divorce papers heavy on her lap. The ink was barely dry. Derek, her husband of 7 years, had packed his bags with methodical detachment, his words still hanging in the air like a poison. "I'm 34 years old, Olivia. I can't spend the rest of my life as a caretaker. I need a partner, not a patient." The wheelchair she'd occupied since the accident 2 years prior had become, in his eyes, a cage for them both. Then came the second blow, delivered with a chilling casualness. "Jennifer and I have been seeing each other for 6 months, Derek said, not meeting her eyes. Jennifer, her best friend since elementary school. The woman who had held her hand through chemotherapy, through the agonizing rehab, through the darkest nights of pain and fear. That Jennifer. She understands what I need. We're getting married next month." The silence after he left was deafening. Olivia did not cry. She simply sat in the deepening twilight, her fingers gripping the wheels of her chair, wondering how the foundations of a life could collapse so completely in a single afternoon. 4 days later, an official letter arrived, summoning her to the downtown offices of Harrison and Associates regarding her father's estate. Expecting to sort through the affairs of a modest accountant, Olivia instead found herself in a glass and marble conference room, facing a grave-faced estate executor named Charles, your father. "Ms. Matthews was not the man you believed him to be," Charles began gently. He slid a folder across the polished table. "He was, in fact, one of the most successful private investors in modern history. His net worth at the time of his passing was approximately $1.2 trillion. The word hung in the air, vast and incomprehensible. Trillion, numbers with 12 zeros. An empire built in absolute secrecy. Photographs showed her quiet, kind father shaking hands with world leaders, opening factories, presiding over a financial kingdom that spanned the globe. The entirety of his estate passes to you." Charles continued. "The divorce filing predates your knowledge of this inheritance. Legally, your husband has no claim to a single cent." A strange, quiet calm settled over Olivia. The divorce was not yet final, but it would be soon. Derek and Jennifer were somewhere across town, likely picking out china or composing wedding vows, utterly unaware that the woman they had cast aside now controlled wealth beyond their wildest dreams. Olivia did not call them. She did not send a text. She moved, quietly and deliberately, into a new life. She purchased a penthouse overlooking the city, hired a team of world-class physical therapists, and established the Matthews Foundation with a $1 billion endowment, dedicated to spinal injury research. She watched, from a detached distance, as Derek and Jennifer's social media feeds blossomed with engagement photos and saccharine captions about true love and destiny. The irony was a bitter tonic she sipped in private. For 6 months, she rebuilt herself, not just physically, but spiritually. The raw, screaming pain of betrayal hardened into a core of cold, clear resolve. The knock came on a rainy Saturday morning. Through the security screen, Olivia saw Patricia Collins, Derek's mother, her face pale and etched with new lines of worry, clutching a worn handbag on the penthouse doorstep. "I didn't know where else to go," Patricia whispered upon entering, her eyes widening at the evidence of staggering wealth surrounding her. She collapsed onto a sofa, tears beginning to fall. "Derek, he lost his job. There were allegations. No one will hire him. Jennifer left him 2 weeks ago. She took everything. He's broken. Living with me." She produced photos from her bag, images of a young Derek, of their wedding day, a visual plea for mercy. "I know I have no right to ask," Patricia sobbed, her dignity dissolving. "I know I said terrible things, that I encouraged him, that I called you a burden. I was wrong. Please, Olivia. He's my son. Help him. You have the means now." Olivia listened, her expression impassive. When Patricia finally ran out of words, the silence in the grand room was absolute. "You're correct, Patricia," Olivia said, her voice calm and unnervingly steady. I do have the means. I have more money than your son could conceptualize in 10 lifetimes. I could, with one phone call, erase all his debts, secure him a prestigious job, and set him up for a life of ease. Patricia's face flickered with desperate hope. Olivia wheeled closer, her gaze unwavering. But I will not. Not a penny. Not now, not ever. The hope shattered. Please, Patricia gasped. No, Olivia said, the word final. He served me divorce papers 3 days after I buried my father. He and my best friend betrayed me for months while pretending to offer solace. You called me a crippled burden and told him to trade me in for a better model. These were not mistakes. They were choices. And this. She gestured around the penthouse. This is the consequence. Patricia wept openly, but Olivia felt no pity. Only a profound sense of closure, however, Olivia said, and Patricia's head jerked up. Olivia wheeled to her desk, retrieved a simple business card, and handed it to her. This is the contact information from my foundation's Second Chances employment program. It helps people rebuild their professional lives after significant setbacks. If Derek is genuinely willing to change, to undergo counseling, to take full accountability, to demonstrate real growth, he may apply through the official channels. Like anyone else, Patricia stared at the card as if it were a holy relic. I make no promises, Olivia stated firmly. He will be vetted thoroughly. He will receive no special treatment, no hints of his connection to me. He will have to earn every opportunity. This is not help. It is a chance to prove he can help himself. Do not thank me. I am not doing this for him or for you. I am doing it because my father believed in redemption that is earned. And I choose to honor his legacy by not letting your son's cruelty turn me into a monster. Patricia left, clutching the card, a woman simultaneously condemned and given a faint, impossible thread of hope. Weeks later, Olivia reviewed the committee's decision on Derek's application, denied. The notes cited a lack of genuine introspection, a tendency towards self-pity over accountability. She filed the report without comment. Months turned into years. Olivia's foundation flourished, changing thousands of lives. She heard, through detached channels, that Derek had eventually begun therapy, had started a blog documenting his slow, painful journey towards self-awareness. In one post, he wrote, I blamed her wheelchair for my unhappiness, but the cage was of my own making. I was a coward who mistook convenience for love. It was, perhaps, the beginning of wisdom, but it came far too late. At a keynote speech years later, Olivia reflected on her journey. Wealth did not change me, she told the rapt audience. It revealed everyone else. It showed me that the people who left when I was at my weakest were never truly mine. The real inheritance my father left me wasn't the money. It was the clarity to see people for who they are, the strength to uphold my own worth, and the compassion to build bridges for others even if some bridges must remain forever closed. To those who first tried to burn them, she had moved beyond them. Her life was one of purpose, impact, and hard-won peace. Meanwhile, in a small apartment in another city, Derek Collins lived with a different kind of inheritance, the relentless, echoing weight of regret. He finally understood that some choices are irrevocable, and that the highest cost of betrayal is often paid not in gold, but in the quiet, endless currency of a life that could have been. The greatest fortune is not what you acquire, but who you become, and the most permanent poverty is the loss of your own integrity.